Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Goddess Suite. This is Holistic Gals, where my goddess is at.
This is Mystic Feather. How's everybody tonight?
Hey, Mystic Feather. This is Sister Love is in the house. I'm doing good. Hey, Holistic Gals. How you doing?
Hola, goddess. I am sitting here, and I have 3 drinks here. I have tea, I have a peppermint tea, I have some water, and I have some coconut water. I don't know why. I just have 3 different drinks sitting here, but that's what I'm sipping on tonight. What do you goddesses sipping on?
I'm sipping on, well, what would you know? I'm sipping on peppermint tea, too.
Oh, wow.
I've been sipping on the past 3 nights, so it's been helping me go to sleep and put me in a calm, relaxed state of mind. So I've just been sipping on that and a little of oolong tea. That's my little combination I've been on for the past week here.
Oh, that sounds good. Well, today I just got some regular hot chocolate, but this week I've been drinking my womb detox tea that Mama O made me. That stuff is the bomb. It is the bomb. So all week I was drinking it.
Tell us about that, Sister Love. What's in it?
Well, she made it, and she did a womb. She did what she do. She read my womb and stuff like that. So she made a special tea, like based upon her reading of my womb. So it's just specifically for me and to detox my womb. So I been drinking it all week, and it's I like it. It tastes good, and it helps during my cycle. So I'm to drink it, when it's that womanly time. It helps, it helps you to be more relaxed. It helps, so far, I haven't had those mood swings I have when it's, that time when you're PMS and all of that. It's totally combo it down. And y'all sisters, y'all ladies know how I be.
Yes, we do.
Yes, you can be a very booty goddess, honey.
But it works.
We have to send you love and light sometimes,
But at least you're taking care of the problem. That's the thing. It's no such thing as problems, only solutions, and you found one for what's going on. So
solution. A shout out to Mama O, because she's the bomb. And it calms me. It calmed me down this whole week, and and it was just soothing tea. So I enjoyed that.
Oh, wow.
So there's regular hot chocolate tonight. So.
All right. Well, we've already spoke on the blend that we have coming soon, ladies. We haven't received it yet. We're still waiting. This tea is hot to try. It's on back order for some weeks now, so we're still waiting for it. But
can't wait.
When it arrives, we will test it and let you know the verdict, because we don't want to promote anything that we haven't tried ourselves, and we want to make sure that it's everything that they claim it to be before we start advertising it. So just be on standby. We actually got a lot of emails concerning the tea and when is it going to come out and all that. So we thank you for your emails, but we haven't got it yet. So just stay tuned. Just keep listening, and once we've gotten it and we've tested it out, we will let you know our results, and we will be posting them on our pages and in the Goddess Suite. And coming soon, we'll have the Goddess Suite website up, so we'll be putting a lot of informative information there, doing a little bit of blogging, talking about holistic health, spirituality, and sexual health. So just stay tuned for all of the new things that's coming in 2015. And I'm really excited. really, really excited.
Me too.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. Well, tonight we have a beautiful queen on tonight, Reverend Ivy Hylton. We met this queen about me and Miss Holistic Gals and Mystic Feather about a month ago, and she was just phenomenal, and her spirit just glows. And she has a voice like an angel. Oh my God!
Yes, she does.
I just can't wait to.
Are you gonna play? Are you gonna play some of her music, Holistic Gal, before we go into the guest? Okay.
Yes, I am. Let me see. Okay, we're going to play a selection from Reverend Ivy Hylton. You guys.
I'm going to light my candle. I'm going to light my candle and meditate on this because it was so angelic.
Yes, very angelic. You all are going to love it. So let's get your tea together. Sit back, relax.
wow, that was beautiful. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I'm like in another zone.
I'm telling you, I was up here thinking, I was like, I'm going to have to put this song on repeat on my phone and sleep to it, because it just puts you in that relaxed state of mind, you know, like everything's okay, just let your worries kind of float away type, you know, feel. That is so beautiful, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure she got it. Honestly, I was reading that she was related to Marian Anderson. For those who don't know, she was a contralto singer, one of the first African American opera singers, and she participated in a lot of civil rights movement, and she made a lot of accomplishments and achievements. And so I don't know, their voice got passed on or what, but I mean, it's beautiful. The reason why I remember Marian Anderson when I saw it is because as a child I had picked her to do a Black History report on. So, and I just told my sister earlier, I said, wow, this is like synchronicity, because we're still in Black History Month. So we pay homage and honor to Marian Anderson for paving the way for singers like Leontine Price. She's another opera singer, and all the ones that come after her, Denise Graves, and all the younger generations of opera singers and singers coming up, because she paved the way for a lot of musicians, specifically African American musicians. So we thank you, Marian Anderson.
Yes, we thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to bring on Reverend Ivy Hylton. I'm going to read her bio real quick. Reverend Ivy Hylton is a licensed social worker, DD. She is an international inspirational speaker, restorative justice trainer, filmmaker, development specialist, and licensed holistic psychotherapist, on the cutting edge of a new paradigm for psychological, physiological, and emotional healing, with a breakthrough concept with sound vibronics, healing, teaching, and inspiring personal transformation. Ivy's company, Youth and Families in Crisis, LLC, is the lead contractor for the Balance and Restorative Justice Institute for Juvenile Justice Reform in the District of Columbia for Superior Court Social Services Division. National Institutes of Health has featured Ivy as one of the leading integrative therapists in the nation on the complementary care and practices. Ivy is founder and CEO of Serenity Healing Arts, Wellness Education, and Holistic Services, and proprietor of the Heaven House Retreat for Rest, Relaxation, and Restoration in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. Ivy is an ordained minister and spiritual leader dedicated to serving as a vessel for releasing the burdens that God has never intended us to bear. Her passion is dedicated to mind, body, spirit connections and encouraging compassionate mindfulness all over the world. She is the author of 3 books, Journey into Inner Peace, Sound Vibronics, Sonic Stress Reduction System, and Reversing Symptom Ontology of Post-Slavery Trauma. Producer and artist of 6 CDs, all dedicated to meditation, inner peace, emotional balance, rest, and relaxation. Her most recent project is the production of a documentary film entitled Heartstrings, Mothers with Sons in Prison. The documentary debut was presented at the 2015 National Conference on Fathers and Families Coalition in Los Angeles, California. Dr. Ivy will be joining the FFCA conference, featuring some of the most innovative and influential speakers, researchers, policymakers, even head of states, members of Congress, and many more working to improve outcomes for children and their families through father involvement. She can be found online at www.serenityhealingarts.com. Her music can be found at www.cdbaby.com/all/Ivy Hylton. And her beautiful retreat, which me and my sister looked up online already, can be found at www.heavenhouseretreat.com. And her books can be found at www.amazonbooks.com. Welcome, Goddess Ivy. Welcome to the Goddess Suite.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited, and you guys are awesome. I'm loving listening to you. Share with one another.
Thank you for joining us.
We're honored to have you on the show, Dr. Ivy.
Yes, absolutely.
Your music set the tone for the night.
Yes, it did.
All right.
Almost put us in the meditative state. We almost didn't have a show.
Well, you know what? Just because you're there and you're present, the vibrational healing energy just from your voice and the sound waves that you are connecting with have already done the job.
Oh, wow. Wow. You just don't know how excited we were when we met you at Sheba's event when you were on her television show talking about heartstrings. And we from listening to the interview, man, my sister was like, it's kind of like at the same time, like, is she conscious? and we were like all excited in the audience. Oh my God, she is. She was talking about the Tibetan singing and stuff like that. So we were like all excited. We're like, we gotta have her on the show. Because it's not often that we meet, people who are, in this type of sector of spirituality. A lot of people are still into traditional Christianity or Islam or other practices. So it was just a breath of fresh air to know that you were into these things, because we love this type of stuff.
Oh, yes. Well, I have been, I was just excited to meet you, too, to see two beautiful young goddesses who connected on the spiritual level. I have been doing this work now for 35 years.
Oh, wow.
And when I first started, I was in graduate school at Atlanta University, and I made up my mind that I wanted to do something on spirituality. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know whether they were ready for that or not. But my thesis was on a comparison-contrast study of basic social work and psychological principles and metaphysics. So way back then, I was in my early 20s. I didn't even know what metaphysics was, but it was how the universe moved me in my life and put my consciousness in a place where I was inquisitive. I said, okay, if I'm going to work in this area of helping to transform the lives of people, I have to first start with myself. So that's what I did, and I said, it's a really long story about that. But the bottom line is I got my permission, and I was ordained with my instructions at the age of 17 to start this path.
Wow.
And I'll be 60 this year.
You were ahead of your time, sister.
So much so that I have fought a lot of fights, and particularly in my field of social work. But now people seek me out. They're like, oh, yeah, I remember that. But, they would think you're kind of crazy or really eccentric to the point of no return. But the fact of the matter is I really started this spiritual journey as a child, really. And I think I've told this story before on Sheba's talk show, where when I was a really young girl, 8, 9 years old, I used to try to grab the light from the lamppost or either from the stars, and I felt like it belonged in my hand.
Wow.
And I had this little thing called lights, sprinkle lights. And it was like I would sprinkle the light once I captured it in my hand all over the universe to make people be nice. And because people weren't so very nice to me as a young child.
Oh, wow. So Goddess Ivy, did you did you have a particular spiritual background as a child? Like, were you in a family of Christians or no particular?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, a family of Christians and a grandfather who was a Baptist preacher.
Mhm.
And actually, my father's father was a Baptist preacher too. I just never knew him. That's the Anderson side. I am Ivy Anderson. My whole name is Karen Ivy Anderson, and I dropped the Karen when I divorced my first husband. I said, I need a new vibration. So I became Ivy. But I grew up in a Christian family, Baptist tradition, and that was where it came from. And then when I started really reading and understanding the Bible, I said, according to this, Jesus has woolly hair and is kind of a dark-skinned man. And then I started getting inquisitive because I said, there's something out of order with what I'm seeing and what I'm reading and what I'm hearing. Mm-hmm. And then they told me that Jesus said, do not worship me, worship the Father, and what I can do, you can do also.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, really? So as a young child, that's where it started, and, the rest is history.
Wow. Oh, wow. And that's amazing because, you actually read into what the Bible said and not just take it for face value, because there's so many people who go to church and they read the Bible, but they don't really take in what's being said. They kind of get more caught up in the man that's speaking the word and the activities going on at church, but they deny the word that's, speaking to them right off the pages, and they don't live by it. And so, yes, and so by you saying that, you actually took that to heart and you ran with it. You believed that you could really do what he did.
That's what it said. So I said, okay, well, if that's the case, let's see what this is really all about. And that is what really led me into my spiritual walk, my spiritual journey, my spiritual path of life. And, that's it. And I think that if more of us begin to acknowledge the spiritual side of life, I'm not, saying don't believe in a religion, because to me, the things are two different things.
Yes, they are.
Religion is the path in which you want to learn the principles of what to live by, and spirituality is our personal connectedness with our soul to the heavens, to the universe. And if we can really learn how to home in on that spirituality of who we are, life would be so much easier.
It would.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Now, Goddess Ivy, tell us, after you began to walk on your spiritual path, when did you come across things like different healing modalities like crystals and Tibetan bowls and magical arts and things like that?
I'm thinking back to as a trained psychotherapist. I did a lot of talk therapy, and but at a certain point in my very, very young life, as I was involved in a pretty abusive relationship, an emotional and spiritually abusive relationship, and it was so much pain involved in that because I hadn't really discovered who I was, but yet here I was a mother, and I was married, and married to somebody that liked drugs, and so, but I didn't know he liked drugs like that, and it got out of control, got out of hand, and I was a very lost young woman with no help living out in Ohio with no family, and I was very depressed. And one of my aunts paid attention to that. She never acknowledged it. She just gave me a CD. And the CD was done by Brother Ah. And Brother Ah is a very powerful musician. and he does world music. And so I didn't know Brother R then, but I was listening to his music, and in the music were these sounds, the tones of the Tibetan bells and the Tibetan Pingsha bells, the meditation bells, and the African drums and the rain sticks and the conch shells and the Native American flutes, and all of that music seemed to, lift my spirit into a place where I knew there was something special about that music. But it wasn't until I gave birth to my son, Richard, that I began to see the connection between spirituality, sound, and vibration in the human body, because I decided to have a natural birth. And, 34 years ago, natural birthing was not the big thing. Wow. They want to give you the drugs and, and I said, no, I want a natural birth. And they thought I was crazy. But I thought the pain got so intense that I started toning like this. And I just started breathing and toning. And the deeper that I would tone, the faster I started to dilate. And they were like, well, you're dilating so quick. I don't know how to control this, and I wasn't paying attention. All I was listening to the tones that were coming to my spirit, and I would just repeat those tones. And I dilated so quickly that my son came through the birth canal so quick that the nurse turned around and caught him coming out.
Wow.
So they didn't even have a clue that it was going to happen so quickly. So I said, oh, wait a minute. There is something to this. And the story, goes on from there. I mean, it goes back all the way to when I was 17 years old, praying to God to give me a sign, show me how true your existence is in my life. And I began to have these really deep conversations with God, like through the light of the sun, like from the heavens and the sky, the brightness of the water, things started coming to me that I had no knowledge of. And that is when I knew that there was another world within a world that we lived in. And it must be that world that they try to teach us about, but we can't touch. You can't access it. You can only learn about how other people did it. And I didn't believe that. I just didn't believe that. I said, if the other people could do it, I can do it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's how my journey started.
And by you setting the intent of that's what you wanted to do, it seemed like it just manifested a whole new path for you.
It manifested a whole new path for me. I went through all of the different religions now. I became a holiness. I studied Islam. I've done it all. But what came to me is that all of these religions are talking about the same energy.
Yes.
They just call it something different.
Yep, exactly.
They give it a different name, but it's the same energy.
Same energy, absolutely.
And we're all seeking it. We want that feeling of love. We want that feeling of joy. We want that feeling of connectedness. We want that feeling of being fulfilled and knowing that we are living out the purpose that we were given when we decided to come onto the earth plane. We have to spark that memory. We have to remember. And to me, that's what the work is all about.
Remembering. Absolutely. What are some of the types of practices that you use to connect with the Creator?
Well, when I turned 18 years old, one of my mentors taught me transcendental meditation.
Okay.
And way back then, again, those transcendental meditation schools and classes used to be like woo places. That you wouldn't be caught. You wouldn't let anybody see you go into. But that is just where I was, because the peace that is felt when you discover the still point within your soul that you want to repeat over and over and over again. So I learned transcendental meditation at a very early age, and that opened the door for many other practices, like Reiki, universal energy, and that came to me because they said, that Jesus was able to heal people by touching them, and then there was the laying on of hands that was a very powerful healing process. So I studied that, and then it took me back to the ancient African history, where in the Japanese tradition they call it Reiki. It's spelled with an Reiki, and then I see that in the African tradition they call it Raka. But when you look at the pronunciation of it, it's Reiki, in the Twi language. So Raka meaning, power of healing from the sun. And so when we think of the sun, we think about the Son of God, but really it's the sun, the literal sun, that pours that healing energy onto the earth that gives it life.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I love it. She's speaking people.
That's a beautiful breakdown.
Yes.
And then I became a reflexologist. I do reflexology. I love reflexology. And when I was in graduate school, one of my clinical instructors was her husband was a reflexologist. And she could see how school was beating us down. And she invited us to her home, which was pretty non-traditional, and had her husband perform reflexology for us. Now, at the time, I didn't know what that was, but I remembered the feeling, and I said, I'm going to find that feeling again somewhere one day in my life. And eventually I found it again, and that's what they called it, reflexology. So then I said, I'll have to become a reflexologist. So I did. And then I became a Reiki master. And then I became certified in aromatherapy, because aroma living is a very powerful way to access the spirit world through what we call the olfactory bulb in the nasal cavity. So when you inhale aromas, it sends certain languages to the brain. And so I said, this is a way to access the source of a higher intelligence through aroma. So I said, I have different kinds of cosmetic vibrational feelings when you light incense or light sage, for all of these things help to elevate the higher source of intelligence in our own being. And so then I became a hypnotherapist, because I said, talk therapy is good, but talking to yourself within yourself and a connection to God is even better.
Yeah.
That's how I became a hypnotherapist. So those are the kinds of things, and then the sound therapy, using the crystals, crystal healing, and understanding the connectedness that crystals have, because our body is made up of crystal deposits. We're nothing but crystalline deposits that can turn to fluid.
Wow.
So my gosh. It's like a soul language. It's like creating a soul language with these healing modalities. That's really awesome, actually.
I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I just bow to you, Goddess, because if I can walk in your footsteps, it's so funny, because I wrote a list of goals down yesterday. Everything you said you've done, that was what I said I wanted to do. You will do it, girl. I've been walking this walk for 35 years, so it takes time. Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, backtracking to aromatherapy, what are some of the aromas that one can use to connect to those higher consciousnesses?
Well, my favorite is jasmine.
Okay.
Yes.
Jasmine is a door opener.
Okay.
Wow.
Jasmine essential oil helps to open the passageway for emotional healing. And the emotional healing is what we need so that we can be open to messages or just be open to the healing. So I always like to start with jasmine because it's an antidepressant. It helps to improve clairvoyance. It empowers our intuitive knowing and our intuitive understanding. You know, jasmine is a very famous flower. It's very sweet. It's pleasing. It's romantic. And so in Middle Eastern region, it's a very powerful flower. The jasmine flower is mostly associated with romance and with love. So, you know, I like to use jasmine, and then I like to use lavender. And most of these essential oils that I like to use are easy, you know, to access. But the lavender is a very powerful healing agent, and most of these essential oils that are necessary for spiritual enlightenment are mostly flowers, you know. We use the bloom part of the flower, and the stem is used to extract the essential oil. And something about it really is very helpful. I love the frankincense and the myrrh, and I never encourage people spiritually to do myrrh alone because that's more of the ground, and frankincense is more higher, and so you want to bring them both together. That's how come frankincense and myrrh, you very seldom hear just myrrh. You hear
that's true.
Because it is a powerful grounding and spiritual connectedness combination. And it's a good one for spiritual protection. And when you think about Christmas time, you always hear that they brought frankincense and myrrh and baubles and bees to Jesus, baby Jesus the Christ. Well, it was the frankincense and myrrh that was for protection, and the bauble and bees were the crystals.
Wow, okay.
That were designed specifically for his protection. And then people say, having a horoscope and all of that astrology stuff is, satanic. But the fact of the matter is that the wise men were powerful astrologers who found baby Jesus by reading the stars.
Yeah, that is so true. The three magi.
There you go.
I know. It's funny because we were talking about myrrh last week on the last week on the show because it's we were going to be introducing this Goddess blended tea, and we were going over the ingredients, and we were talking about myrrh was in the tea, and I was saying how, I was just trying to, it was myrrh and holy thistle, and I was just comparing their high vibrational properties, but I never knew that you can, drink myrrh, that myrrh was drinkable, and it had so many healing modalities to it, so, and for, just for you to bring a frankincense and myrrh, it was, because that's what I've been burning lately in my house, for protection and things like that. So,
and it's a powerful antioxidant, and get this, it is a protection against aging skin.
Yeah, I read that.
It's like you use a combination of myrrh if you don't break out a lot, but you don't want to put it directly on your skin. You want to blend it with a very sensitive and very gentle cream to to put on your face. And some people mix it with oil, but I prefer organic cream. To put on my skin. But I'm one of these old-fashioned people. I don't just use myrrh alone. I always blend myrrh with something a little lighter because it's very earthy, it's very strong.
Okay, and you said frankincense is with the fire element?
Yes, frankincense. Well, actually, the myrrh is more, for me, the myrrh is more of the earthy fire part of it, and the frankincense really lightens it up. Okay. So, but both of them together is very powerful fire. And the myrrh is very powerful for healing the heart and uplifting the mind.
Oh, okay.
And it helps to release stress. It's a heart release vibration. So this is why it's so wonderful. I love myrrh and I love frankincense, and I particularly love Moroccan myrrh.
Okay, I never heard of that, Moroccan myrrh.
Yeah, so go and you find you some Moroccan myrrh and Sudanese frankincense.
Sudanese frankincense.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, Goddess Ivy, let's go into the love zone here. You and your husband, you're both on the same spiritual path?
We are, and that's how we met, actually.
Really?
Yes. One of our friends who is in our spiritual community was moving to New Mexico, actually. Mm-hmm. And I was invited to come to sing, and he was invited to come to sing. And we had meditation, and then we had the music. And it's very interesting because when I saw him, I said, oh, there goes my new husband.
What?
Oh, wow.
And he said the same thing, so it's kind of like a little love story that goes along with that one.
Oh, beautiful. So do you think he should go? I'm pretty sure you know that this is your twin flame or soulmate.
Yes. And, I try not to put a definition to it. It's really all about what it feels like. And sometimes, we think that our soulmate is one thing, but it turns out, to be something different. So you have to be open to not trying to define it, So we were both very open. And after 2 years, we got married.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful that you found someone on the same vibration. You both sing. You're both, spiritual. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we're both on that spiritual path. So, much of our time together is spent with that in mind. And we like going to, rustic places and beautiful, pristine beaches and aromatherapy. We live by that. We love traveling together, and it is very powerful when you can have two minds on the same path.
Absolutely, I agree. Like minds.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, tell
Ivy.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh,
go ahead,
I saw that you went to Africa last year. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Oh, yes. Well, my sister friend, Dr. Allison Henderson, lives in Africa. Well, she lives in Africa and here in the United States. But I told myself and I told her that I was going to come and visit her. But the main reason, or the two of them, she was moving back and I was going to go and help her get ready to move back home. But one of my objectives was really to seek out the traditional healers to find some healing for myself, related to my son's incarceration and the loss of his fiancée and just the trauma of that whole experience that eventually I'm sure we will talk about. And, sometimes there are situations in life that there's absolutely nothing you can do but pray.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I had resolved to, prayer. But I was also moved to go to Africa to see this particular traditional healer who I had met here in the United States. And she said, "When you come and visit me, bring me, his picture, her picture. Just bring me your prayers, and I will help pray for you and for him and for her spirit." And I said, okay. And so eventually I did that. But when I got there, she was sick or just recovering from being sick. So I didn't bother to go into that traditional spiritual healing process. But as God would have it, I eventually met another traditional healer when I was leaving Africa. And my sister said, well, just ask her to say some prayers for you. So I said, okay, pour a libation and say some prayers for our safe journey and our safe travel. And then she turned around and looked at me and said something about you need more than that. And so my girlfriend said, well, just ask her to pray for your son. So I said, okay. So I told her, just pray for my son. That's all I said. And then very quickly she turned back around and said, this is very difficult. She said, what is happening with your son? And I was like, oh, God. So I began to tell her about it, and she did her prayers, and it was a very powerful effect, as a matter of fact. So, just traveling through the traditional communities in Africa is something that everybody of African descent needs to experience before they leave this planet.
Wow.
Just being there energized my entire life. Just being there. And it was the first time. I've been to Africa before, but this was my first time going to Ghana. And, just being there on the shore and the water, and we were seeking out the traditional healers, and I met a man who was 130 years old.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Beautiful.
And his youngest, 130 years old. And what really is powerful about that is that the whole family really lived long, long lives. And the difference between their family life and living environment is that they all live together, and they don't live in necessarily the same house, but they live in the same village. And so nobody is ever alone. Nobody has to try to do anything by themselves. It is a family community effort. So they live longer and they eat better, but it's really weird because you can't find greens there. They don't eat greens.
What? What do they eat?
But they eat the mostly plants that are grown in the earth.
Okay.
And fish. A lot of fish, a lot of rice. But, to find greens or collards or broccoli, it's really hard to find that there, and it's very expensive when you do.
Wow.
It's a very interesting life and very, very powerful. There are no red lights there, so everything is just a vibe. Everybody's in a rhythmic balance, driving around, and they know when to stop, they know when to go. There's a lot of courtesy going on. It's no, road rage situation. When we were stopped by police on the road, I was the only one nervous.
I heard the same story before.
I was like, doesn't everybody know that this is the police stopping point and the police are on their way? And they're just laughing and talking, and I'm thinking, I'm shaking in my boots. And they said, well, no, that all they want is 5 CDs, or they want some music, or they just want you to give them a little money. They just want to see what you got in there that will be enhance their life, and that's all they want. And when they get it, you go head on. I was like, wow. I would. They said if you get arrested there, you have to drive yourself to jail.
Oh my God!
I was like, what? It's a whole other life.
I know. It's definitely magic in Africa. Even one of our co-hosts, Sister Love, she had a friend that was from there, and he would tell her about how the trees would actually uproot themselves and move to other places. Like, tree might be, Sister Love.
Yeah.
Can you tell Goddess Ivy about that?
Yeah, he said that the trees move. He said one day it'll be, and then like another day it'll move. But no one really says much about it. He said, yeah, it happens. He said there's a lot of it. And, fairies in the woods. He said that stuff exists. He said in Africa. And he said everyone knows about it, but it's not a big deal.
No, it's a way of life. It's just a way of life. And it is magical. It is mystical. For me, I could not live there permanently. I would be I'm a good traveler and a good visitor. I could go and stay for months at a time. But I don't know. It's not enough food for me.
Agrees.
I think your body would adjust.
I don't want to. I was like, oh no, I lost 8 pounds just being there, so.
Oh, wow.
Because the kind of food that I want to eat, I didn't want to try too much because I didn't want to get sick. And a lot of times, when you need enough time for your body to adjust, and I didn't have enough time for that. So I just really watched myself and really paid attention to, all the way down to using bottled water to brush my teeth.
Oh, wow.
You don't want your mouth on that water at all.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's beautiful.
I will tell you, it was really kind of disturbing to see how the Chinese have started to take over Africa.
Really?
That's what I've heard. I've heard of that. They're buying up a lot of land.
Yes, because they discovered oil over there. And some kind of crazy way, they've given the rights to the Chinese to do the mining. So it's a lot of Chinese African babies. And I'm like, and I went to the spa. I said, I'm going to go to an African spa because I'm a spa journey girl. I will spa all over the world, anywhere I go. Sometimes you guys may want to go on one of my spa journeys with me when we travel.
Yes.
I got up in there, and they were all Chinese. And then they had 3 African women who were there to do massage therapy. And everybody else was Chinese.
Wow.
And it was very nice experience. But in Ghana, but it's not what I wanted my experience to be. But it was a nice experience, but it's not what I wanted it to be.
I can only imagine. That would definitely be a culture shock to me if I would have thought that.
Yeah, it was a culture shock. It really was. It really was a culture shock, and I was not ready for that. I really wasn't.
Wow. This is the world we live in. Things are definitely changing.
Things are definitely changing. We gotta get over there before,
we won't be able to have the real experience.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how long it will take, but they're working on it.
Oh yeah, I bet they are. They've been fighting over oil and gold for so many years. Just like you've heard of the Dogon tribe?
Oh yes, that's pretty much where I think I come from.
Yeah, me too. Serious thoughts.
Serious things.
But they're right on top of all this gold, and the Caucasian people are mining the gold. These people are so rich on so many levels. It's not just with gold, because they don't even care about that, but far as knowledge and the sciences and things like that, that's the fascinating part. And they even have a Christ story, just like the story of the Bible with Jesus, but theirs is similar about the fishman, the nomos, and all of that. It's very, because when I read the story, I was like, wow, this sounds like the Jesus Christ story, and it's way older than the Christ story. So
the initiates. Now, on one of my CDs, the Crystal Dreams CD, one of the songs I titled No Mo, and one of the songs titled Serious B. So I totally understand what you're talking about. And I called it Serious B because we were in the studio and the crystal bowls were playing, and, you can start elevating, and your whole spirit feels like it's light as a feather. And then all of a sudden, everybody in the studio heard this language, like that, like it was sounded mechanical, but it wasn't anything in there mechanical.
Oh, my gosh.
I felt like it was some kind of a celestial conversation. So I called Celestials in Flight and Serious B, because that's where I believe, my spirit comes from.
I definitely agree. Because when you connect with that people and the story, and just that was like one of on my spiritual journey, that was like one of the first tribes that I ever really got felt a connection with, and just reading about them and being just fascinated how, it was a white scientist went over there, and they actually plugged in some of the binary codes that they would write in the sand. They plugged it in the computer, and they were like, oh, my God, it says a message. This is how, advanced these people are without, physical technology like computers and things like that. So, it's fascinating. Anybody, all our listeners, if you get a chance, just Google the Dogon tribe. You really are in for a treat, because they were doing things, knowing things that were like impossible and way before our time. So, you just see the fascination that they have with the star system, and they actually seen the Sirius B star system before the scientists could see it on the telescope because they didn't believe them. Yeah, that it existed until they saw it for themselves. And this is an invisible star you can't see with the telescope, but when it orbited back around, they were able to see it. That's when they got interested. That's when they went back down.
They got very interested. And what is really deep about that star is that my husband and myself, that was one of the things that when we first started dating, we used to really connect with the stars, like they call it the North Star. And there's something about that star that whenever I go into sweat lodges and really meditate on the fire, that star would pop out. Whenever I would take spiritual baths, the star would pop out. That is a lot of deep spiritual knowledge and information in that vibration. So if you really concentrate on it, in my book, I write about these, powerful meditations, and one of them is instructing you to really find the center of the light in a candle, and just allow your attention to focus deep and you'll see the flames or the beams of light popping out of it. And the more you connect with it, you can feel it connecting with your heart, with your body. And there are words that come out of that. And you listen to them, and in their guidance, the spiritual direction and spiritual guidance that comes through deep meditation and reflective prayer. And when I did the CD Crystal Dreams, the photographer, the artist that took the picture, we did it in Rock Creek Park, and I had the crystal bowls out, and and I played the crystal bowls. We poured libations. And then he started getting really excited, and I was thinking, oh, I'm really looking good. He's really getting this good. And the next thing I know, when the pictures came out, that star was there. Wow. And it was bleeding right into my third eye from the sun, like through the trees. And it was like awesome. And he thought it was overexposure, and I said, no, that's the picture.
Wow. And you said connect to
me around. It followed me around. Even when I was doing the last meditation for that particular CD, I traveled to New Mexico, Taos, New Mexico, to the Valecitos retreat. And in the wintertime, the only way to get there is on skis. So, I didn't go in the winter.
Right.
Right.
But it was in the summertime, and that star popped out every night in the same direction.
Wow.
And it would come in, and then it would go out. And, in New Mexico, there are a lot of UFO sightings.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, I kept calling on the beams of light to come, and then when it got close to me, I would say, okay, but not right now. I believe you're there, but don't get that close, because it kept coming closer every night. And I said, okay, tell me what you want to know, and then keep on going.
Right.
Don't come and get me.
Not yet.
Not yet. The moonbeams, that's what my husband and I call it, the moonbeams. You call on the moonbeams, they will come, believe it.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, Goddess Ivy, what do you feel? What is your take on UFOs? Because here at the Goddess Suite, we like to talk about these type of topics that are taboo in our community, but more and more we've encountered other people of color who are having these encounters and seeing these beings, or I had a couple of encounters. I had a couple of strange markings, and we're going to have a young lady on our show in a few weeks. She's been in contact with them on a regular basis. So I want to get your take on it. What do you think about this extraterrestrial phenomena that's going on in our community? And also, why is it so taboo, community?
Well, for me, this gets a little esoteric. And, the anomaly in the sky that is not identified, or what we know as the unidentified flying object, or the UFO, is something, like I said, that I have been feeling very deeply ever since I was a very small child, before I even knew, you shouldn't even say anything like that. So I believe that we are really ignorant if we think we are the only living entities or beings in the entire universe. There's got to be, sometimes I even think, that there are what they call dual universes. And sometimes we can remember experiencing something before, but we don't think it wasn't in this particular lifetime or in this particular universe.
Right.
But we did experience it. So I believe in unidentified flying objects. When you really break it down, there are many things that are out there that are flying around that we didn't know what they are.
Right.
But I have a strong belief that we are not the only living beings in the universe, and that a connection on that level would really be, very awesome. Sometimes I really think that, I've never said this out loud, really in public.
Go ahead.
See, you're encouraging me.
Yes.
When you look at, hurricanes and major weather catastrophes, when the wind blows but a whole building crushes,
yeah,
I just that is either the landing of one of them or the taking off of one of them. How about that?
I would strongly agree with that because the power, and also since you said that, when they spot them coming out the seas, because it's only like 5% of the ocean has been explored, so that means 95%. You don't know what's underneath there. You don't know what's going on underneath there.
We don't know. And there is, and see, here's another conversation. I don't know whether this is what you guys want me to talk about, but, we have, when we start talking about the spiritual essence of life, that means that we have to acknowledge everything that is around us with reverence. The earth, the sky, the trees, plants, and even the oil, because I really believe that the oil in the earth is the blood of the earth. And they're out the blood, and the more and more they suck out the blood, the more and more they're sucking out the life of the Mother Earth.
Oh, wow, that is deep.
The oil is the blood. And so when they have major extractions of oil at the bottom of the ocean, you end up with these tsunamis and all of these earthquakes. And, it's so real to me, when you think about it, that if you had somebody pumping your blood out all of the time for the use of somebody else, eventually you must be depleted.
Exactly. And isn't the saying that the world is inside of us, and the world mirrors us, they have, the world has meridians and ley lines, and the heart chakra is Egypt, and all of this stuff, just like we have inside of our body. So I definitely agree with that. I love that philosophy. I definitely can resonate with that.
It's just my thinking, my little thinking. Because, when I was a little girl and I was in the 4th grade, and I told you that people were really mean because I had really long, wavy, curly hair, and I was the fastest runner. I could run faster than anybody. So children were mean to me because of it. And then I had eczema, I think, on my neck or arm or something, so they would tease me. So people were so mean. And so one day I went home and I made up in my mind that I was going to concoct a love potion. And this love potion, it wasn't physical, it was spiritual. But I realized in order to inject it, I needed a apparatus in order to inject these mean people with the love potion. So I took a pen, a straight pen, to school with me one day and just started injecting people with the love potion.
And my God.
I got in a lot of trouble for that. But when I thought about it, I've been doing this cosmetic love vibration thing for a very long time.
For a very long time. Oh, my gosh. You are ahead of your time, period, though.
I get it, yeah.
I mean, this is it's nothing wrong with anything that happened in your path that you can look at and say that happened, that was wrong, or, because if anything, them treating you mean, it actually strengthens you and help bring you closer to your path, because you've been doing this work for probably longer than 35 years when you really think about it.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's true.
Yeah.
So my friends, even to this day, remember the love potion. But I got into a lot of trouble behind it.
Oh, wow. What did your parents say, being as though they're Baptists?
They were just, I don't know, they were more disciplinarians that you are going to act good when you go to school. They didn't even see that part of the depth of that I was a hurting child who was bullied.
Right,
and, so from that, I realized that, people can really be mean. And so, I don't know, it just came out of me like that I was determined to pour the vibration of love into as many souls as I can, and it is still to this day my life mission, is to create as many heaven on earth experiences as I possibly can to uplift the heart, soul, and mind of all humanity.
Wow, that's beautiful. And you are doing it. You are doing it, Goddess. You are.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm doing my best. I'm trying to pay attention.
Well, Goddess, is it okay if we take a call or two?
Surely, please.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Little mouse. Okay, here we go. Hello, area code 202. Question, comment, or sipping tea? Hello? Okay, let's try another caller. Hello, area code 240-280. Question, comment, or sipping tea?
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, could you? Oh, I apologize. I had the phone on mute, and I was doing something at the same time. I have
okay.
just 3 quick ones. I wanted to find out the song that you all, because by the time I had called in, you all were finishing up talking about a song that was on. And,
yes.
And I wanted to write that down.
Okay.
And then the other thing was to hear about the tribe that you had brought up.
Okay. I'll let Goddess Ivy talk about the song that was playing. Goddess.
Okay.
The song is entitled "Let There Be Light," and it's actually, I think, track number 11 on a CD that I call Sacred Moments.
Okay, Sacred Moments.
And if you, hold on a second, if you go to cdbaby.com, it's Sacred Symphonies, it's called Sacred Symphonies, and if you go to cdbaby.com/all-Ivy-Hylton, you can download it, or you can go to iTunes and download that one song, Let There Be Light, or you can go to amazon.com and download it as well. It's called Let There Be Light from Sacred Symphonies.
Okay. And another thing, excuse me, I chimed in all unexpected, and night blessings to you all. I should have said that first, but you got me off guard as soon as you started saying 240-280. I said, hold up, they talking to me. But I wanted to say that what you're talking about, Goddess, is very powerful as well, too, because since I was a kid, I've been dreaming about dancing in African tribes and stuff like that. And I'm now I just took an ancestry DNA test, so I just found out I'm 92% African and 7% European. So I've been dreaming of Africa from the longest. So I've always been in tune with my ancestors. It's only this year where I set up an altar and stuff like that. So I'm really getting much closer with them. So hearing you, it's giving me confirmation that I'm on my right path.
All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that is excellent.
And that African tribe is called the Dogon, D-O-G-O-N.
The Dogon people.
Yes.
And it's some powerful information. These were spiritual healers. They were the ones that created creativity.
Oh, wow, okay. Wow, the tribe I've been connecting with, it's just so happened every time I pick up a book or I read something, it's the Dagara tribe.
Say that again.
Sure. I believe it's pronounced Dagara.
Dagara? Dagara.
It's a woman. Her name is Some. I read a couple of her books, and but I'm gonna look up the the doggone tribe. And I know that two part of my stuff said that we were a part of the Dahomey tribe. So I'm looking them up as well.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. And it seems like you said you were having dreams. Seems like you're just remembering who you were, who you are.
Yes. Yeah. I've been having I even have Celtic dreams, so it made sense to why I have that European in me.
Yeah.
Because I had Celtic dreams. I've seen a couple of my past lives, but you can't really talk about this stuff to everybody like you all were saying earlier. They look at you like you're crazy.
Well, all you need is your own blog talk radio, and you can talk about whatever you want.
That's right. Join the crazy crew.
I'm thankful to be a part of
witches. You get called witches. You get called a lot of things.
All
but it's all good.
I even had a dream with UFOs outside my window.
Yeah, you can talk to us about it anytime.
Oh, that's
cool. And the witches were the healers, and they tried to kill all the healers.
Yeah,
but they couldn't.
Did. Mhm. I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
The wise women.
That's what it really means.
And they didn't want that, especially when they discovered medicine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And I read up on all of that. It's so beautiful to be naturally in tune with all those things.
It is. It is.
A lot of times people will tell you, "Oh, I could do this, I could do that for you." And then for me, I just think that it's best to get that on your own. I think that when anybody's, it's time for them to reach that connection, that they do it on their own instead of somebody telling them they could get them there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because there's no rush. Everything is meant for you at the right time, and it'll happen. You don't have to rush it at all. But make sure you read up on that, goddess, and stay tuned. Stay tuned and just keep us connected and calling in and just keep us updated about your journey. We love to hear.
I sure will. Thank you all, and blessings tonight. I'm going to put the phone back on mute, and I think I added you all on Facebook. I'm going to go back on and make sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right.
Have a blessed night.
All right.
Beautiful. I love that.
We have one more caller. Hello, question, comment, or sipping tea?
I have a question. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Hey, goddess.
Oh, Dr. Ivy, how are you, honey? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. I had a question about the whole transitional traveling you were talking about earlier. I have been trying to do quantum jumping. Is that similar?
Well, I don't know. Who are you asking now?
Dr. Ivy.
Yeah, she asking you, Dr. Ivy.
Okay, so this whole thing about quantum traveling, it's virtual in the mind, right? That's what you're talking about. And sometimes you can get so deep into brainwave entrainment that you can tap into that inner world that we don't spend much time with. And so I'm one of these people, when I discovered it, this is what helps me to be able to rest when I have to work hard, because I can quantum travel through the power of the mind and see and make my body feel like I'm resting and sleep in my bed.
Wow.
So that might be the kind of traveling you're talking about. Not really sure, but I know that for myself, that's what I do. And I don't know whether that answers your question, but tell me more about what you're looking for.
Well, the practice I've been working on for about a year and a half is when you don't do it consistently, you kind of lose the ability. It's tapping into that other realm, like you said, and looking to get information from your doppelganger, that twin of yours that's doing something or has a talent that you would like to have. They're already living it.
Yeah.
So I call it the higher self, and that's one of the retreats that I do, the journey to the higher self. And it is a spiritual journey, and it is connecting to that twin mind, because if we really align ourselves with that frequency, you don't really have to think anymore. All you have to do is do. Because it's already there. And so that's a beautiful place to spend time on. And just like, working out or building your muscles, you have to build the muscle of the mind, which is the spirit is the mind muscle. And if you can strengthen the spiritual mind muscle, then we can access that higher self at the snap of a finger.
That's where I want to be.
I see you, Goddess.
Yes, and you're right. The less you do it, the longer it takes you to reach, or you may not, it will be completely elusive.
Right. So what do you suggest? I mean, finding time, they said the greats would take naps, like Einstein and all of them, they would take a nap and they would just go. And I want to do it more. I want to be able to slip into that state better, because I feel like something's missing. I'm missing something.
Well, girl, all we have to do is get together, and it's gonna happen for you. And what is so beautiful about sound vibronics is that you don't really have to do anything but turn on the sound frequencies and have the intention of doing it, and it happens instantly. And it's based on a scientific quantum science fact that sound is faster than light, and thought is faster than sound. So if you combine thought, light, and sound with an intention, it creates instant manifest.
Wow.
Wow. Got it. Okay.
And that's
when is this retreat, Goddess Ivy?
Right.
And what I teach a group or a class that I call the Power of the Mind Quantum Focus Process. And so the quantum focus process is a total of 6 2-hour sessions, and you learn the keys to mental fitness. You learn the limbic brain system for emotional wellness. We explore 4 areas of mindfulness and living, and then we begin to master visual cortex, auditory cortex, and olfactory cortex functioning, meaning we learn to take control of our visualization. We learn to be connected to our hearing and our listening, and we get in touch with the olfactory functioning of our bodies, and I call it sensorium healing.
Wow.
Use your mind to take charge of the brain.
Okay.
Use your mind to take charge of the brain.
Use your mind to take charge of the brain. Wow.
I love it. You can sign me up.
All right. Yeah. And so, maybe my young goddesses will help me figure out how to do it on YouTube.
Sure. Oh, we would love to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Great.
All right. Now, Goddess Ivy, do you have a CD where you are performing the Soundbronics?
Oh, yes, I sure do. And you can actually download that, too, from those websites. You can't get the book. I haven't figured out how to get the book in there yet. And that's going to require some more young minds. I know there's a way to do it. But you can get the CD, and there are 2 of them. 2 discs. The first disc is called Sonic Stress Reduction Daily Practice, and it's focused on harmony and body resonating with the tuning fork, the Om tuning fork. And I went into the studio and recorded the Om tuning fork, and it is really awesome. And then the second disc is the Sonic Stress Reduction that I call Maximum Intensity. And that's a consciousness quantum shift. And I call this the urgent care. So whenever we get really out of balance or we're really stressed or some kind of serious trauma, you would listen to this one and use the visualization, the meditation, and the intentional thought to bring yourself out of that state of consciousness.
Okay. And that's on CD Baby as well.
It is, and it's called Sound Vibronics. It's acoustic brainwave entrainment.
Oh, yeah, I'm a sound junkie. I listen to so many brain trainments. Okay, so I would love to get one from you.
So, yes, you are right on it, Dr. Sheba. The idea is to be able to find that deep, deep place where we can make instant contact. And all I can tell you is that when you master this concept of sound vibronics, you can create manifest in your life much quicker than anything else that you have ever experienced in your life.
Wow. I can't
the only
wait
thing that will kill it is doubt. You can't have an ounce of doubt. If you do, it doesn't work.
Wow.
Okay.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Okay.
So that's kind of cute because, sometimes people will say, no doubt, when they know it's really true.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I just thought of that. No doubt. So, it's really real.
Thank you so much. Yes, I look forward to learning that because I felt like I was doing it all on my own. You know how you're trying to read something and then do it and you don't have anyone there to say, okay, you're on the right track. Do this, tweak it here, tweak it there. And it gets exhausting because you're like, am I practicing and perfecting the wrong thing?
Right.
Now,
right.
That's a powerful thought because we can do that too,
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like doing the same thing over and over again, trying to get a different result, and that is the definite description of insanity.
Yeah, that's an Einstein quote.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I'm doing the same thing and nothing's changing. Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Now,
Dr. Ivy, is what she was talking about, is that different from transcendental meditation?
Yes.
Okay.
It is different.
Okay.
So can you explain that?
Explain what one?
The transition.
You said transcendental meditation?
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about transcendental meditation. It's really about focusing on what is known as a mantra.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And so the mantra, it's still sound healing. It's still meditation. But what you're focused on more in transcendental meditation is a particular mantra that is designed specifically for your spirit. And when you go and you receive a mantra from a TM sitting, that mantra is really supposed to be specifically for you. So you're not thinking about anything in TM. All you're focused on is that sound, that mantra, whatever it is that has been given to you.
Okay.
Sound vibronics, your thoughts can go different places, but you're allowing yourself to create an intention and begin to focus and manifest that thought. So it's really creating thoughts, an intentional thought form in sound vibronics versus TM, which is focused on the very same mantra every time you do it.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
It's a technique for inner peace and for wellness.
Okay.
So which one do you suggest would be like, I guess, the quickest for manifestation? Would that be the quantum?
The quantum healing, or the power of the mind quantum focus process, is teaching how to begin to master your mind, master your thoughts. So it's once you learn the power of the mind quantum focus, then when you begin doing sound vibronics or any other kind of meditation, you are more prepared. A lot of times when people try to meditate, their thoughts take over.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes you need a little bit more help, than just being in the silence.
Now, what would you suggest, when we were talking about doubt, what would you suggest to some, like, say, for instance, you're focusing on on what you want to manifest, but then that thought of doubt comes in, and then, because I know for me, the thought of doubt comes in, and then I just think I blew the whole thing. So do you just quickly change your mind back to that positive feeling, or, to keep you from getting, I guess, off focus of what you're trying to achieve, or is it something you could suggest to kind of get you back focused? Because I just feel like when I get a seed of doubt, I feel like I messed up the whole process.
Well, never feel like there's to me, there's no way that you can just mess it up completely. It just slows the process down. It just slows the manifest down. This whole thing about doubt, that's a workshop and a seminar in itself, really, because doubt is directly connected to faith. How much faith do you have? This whole concept of just enough faith the size of a mustard seed can actually move mountains. And so if you think about the size of a mustard seed, think about it's just tiny, 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 right? Okay. All you need is that much faith in order to begin to manifest. So if you think about doubt, and then you have to release the doubt and replace it with thoughts that strengthen you. So the first thought is this: you are the destiny of your own mind. The end results depend on what you are thinking, how you are praying, and what you believe. So if you are the destiny of your own mind, look at what your thoughts are thinking, and that is what you're going to manifest.
Okay. Oh, don't want to think that.
That's what I'm saying. So you want to manage that. You gotta. That takes practice. That's why I was saying to exercise that mind muscle. Takes practice. So when you begin to really practice, and a lot of times in the Christian church and in Catholic churches and in monasteries, they practice by the rituals that go on, but they don't necessarily. It doesn't always manifest in the results that we want, because it's still very loud in the church. It's still very loud in the Baptist church. It's still very loud in various types of churches, when in fact we have to find a way to get to that silence. Because that is where the real healing takes place. But when that doubt comes up, you have to release the doubt and replace it with thoughts that strengthen you. And you have to already have a plan in mind of what that strength thought is. So you can't sit there and be consumed with the doubt and then try to figure out, a strength thought. You got to already know what your strength thought is. And you don't think it like in the back of your brain or your finger. You think it right in the center of your forehead where what we know as the third eye. So that part of the brain is what we have to begin to exercise. The pineal and the pituitary gland is what's designed to help us connect to the divine.
Okay. Oh, that makes a world of sense.
You know, write down your strength thought. And the other strength thought is using the system of the chakras. And each one of our chakras has an affirmation and a strength thought. You know, so for the crown and for the third eye, for me, the soul personality of the third eye is intuition. So that means in order to really manifest and conquer doubt and fear, we have to strengthen our intuition, our intuitive knowing that brings us to the spiritual truth. And then the crown chakra, or the pineal gland, the soul personality for that I call the spirituality. So affirmations and visualizations like for the third eye, one of the intuitive or affirmations and visualizations that we can develop to strengthen the mind to improve and take charge of the brain is that you would say, see your third eye chakra as a pulsating energy center of crystal clear violet energy. And see yourself accomplishing the achievement of your goal or the achievement of your intuition. And when doubt comes up, I immediately bring my attention and my inner awareness to my third eye chakra, and I see a pulsating energy of crystal clear violet energy taking over the doubt, and I see myself in my mind accomplishing whatever it is that I need to manifest. So I see it happening in the future as if it were in my reality feeling world right now.
Wow.
So I make my body feel it as if it were real, and then I accept it as my reality, and then I wait for it to manifest.
Wow, I just did it.
Woo! And some of the people that experience that with the crystal bowl say, woo, that is very orgasmic.
Oh, wow, I can't wait to get my CD.
Yes, I'm looking up now.
Oh, I'm telling you, that's beautiful. Oh, wow, you definitely have a gift.
Yes.
So
God is happy with you.
Yes.
This is Sister Love. No, go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Sister Love. That was Holistic Gas.
Yeah, I just wanted to know. Now, I wrote down and I found the sound vibronic music on the website. What was the other one you said with the sound, with the tuning fork? It was called Harmony Body.
Yes, you'll see that it's on track 2. On this one, track 2. It's Body Resonator, and it's Tuning with Om. That's the title.
Tuning with Om.
With Om. Mhm. And I prefer the CD, unless you have a really nice, sound system in your computer or on your phone. If you do download it onto the computer, the best way to receive it is with earplugs.
Okay.
All right.
The book it teaches you that the best way to do the sound vibronic meditation is with earphones. But I like it. I really, really like it with my Bose speakers as loud as I can get it, and then I take my crystal bowl and play it simultaneously with the CD, and it takes you to a whole nother level. So this sonic meditation, you don't do anything but just feel it. You just experience it. You just let it happen.
Right.
Okay. Now, God is happy for a beginner with the Tibetan singing bowls. What would you suggest? Just because I've seen some, they come in different notes. So for someone that's just starting out, what would you suggest?
Well, I am one that really loves the crystal singing bowls. The 10 bowls are really they're designed for two different things. So the Tibetan meditation bowls is exactly for what it says, is for meditation. And the singing crystal bowls are for powerful healing, spiritual healing, emotional healing, relieving crystal deposits that literally lie in the bloodstream and in the muscles and in the cells of the body. So the quartz singing crystal bowls are one of the most powerful methods for healing and vibrational healing through sound. The quartz crystals. The Tibetan metal bowls are good for attention of meditation and focus of concentration.
Okay. So when you get the crystal bowls, do they come in different types of crystals, like rose quartz, or it's just
you can get them like that nowadays. They used to just come in. They were crystalline alabaster crystal, so the clear quartz crystal. But now you can get them. They color them, actually, is what they do. But believe it or not, the singing crystal bowls, the quartz crystal bowls, are what is used in electrical plants to generate electricity. And somebody with the idea to tune them to perfect pitch harmony so you can get them to resonate with the chakras in the body.
Okay. And speaking of crystals, have you ever used the crystal moldavite before?
Yeah.
What was your experience with that? That's a strong stone.
Yes. Mine is still missing. We're missing in action.
Yeah, they disappeared on us. Those crystals disappeared.
Everybody has a different response, to different types of crystals. So moldavite is really known as a star people crystal that helps with healing. It helps actually with dreams. If you're having a lot of bad dreams and you sleep with it on you or under the pillow or something like that, or some people put like lots of them under the bed, it helps to keep your dreams pure. And it's so interesting, about using, crystals or the minerals of the earth for energetic healing. That's one of those topics that's still like a mystery for a lot of people. But that's not that deep because they use minerals in our medicine.
Right, exactly.
And so they take the actual crystals to create medicine. So it's the same thing. It's just in its rawest form,
Yeah, I know when I had the moldavite, it would bring up a lot of things you don't like to bring, past issues that you don't like, you sit on for so long, it'll bring them to the surface real quick.
It'll bring it to the surface. And that's why I say, a lot of nightmares and things like that is good to help to resolve.
Yeah.
But the good thing is try to resolve it, as quickly as possible. Don't hold on to those bad life experiences because they will absorb at the cellular level and eventually become, dis-ease.
Because
of dis-ease.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, what has been your most profound spiritual experience?
Ooh. Wow. Let me think about that. I mean, I've had so many of them, and it's good to ask that question so you don't forget.
Yeah.
So many. But, one of my most profound spiritual experiences is one time I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, and this was early on, in my spiritual journey. And, sometimes you pray and you really want to feel and hear the answer and the message from God. You want to know you're getting the right direction and that it's the right voice. And just so happened that I was running, I was doing jogging, and found a really beautiful spot where there was a private lake or pond. And I just laid there, and all of a sudden the sun beamed down on me, and it just I could just feel it penetrating me. And literally, I was getting these messages about how my entire life would unfold.
Mm.
And so far, so good.
You were getting
direction. Early on, I heard the message. I got the direction. I felt the direction. And that was the most profound, I would say, spiritual experience that comes to my mind now, when you ask that question.
Oh, that's beautiful, because we believe in solar rejuvenation and like every morning I'll stand in front of where the sun is, and my husband had some plant in front of the window where the sun was, and when the sun moved, he was like, look, the plants move with the sun. They go in the direction of the sun, and I never paid attention to this, and so the sun might start on the left side of the window, and the plants are bent that way, and then they just go with, every phase that the sun moves, they just go right along with it. So I started doing sun gazing in the morning, and it just really rejuvenates you, because, in the winter months when you're not getting a lot of sun, it can cause depression and those type of things because of the lack of vitamin D. And and I started going deeper, reading about the sun, how people were living off of solar energy. Like, they don't eat, they don't drink. I mean, it's like, why isn't this stuff being talked about? This is a way to save the population if something ever occurs, where we don't have food.
That's right. Just getting to that, and because of people like you two who are putting these conversations out there, I think somewhere in every human being's soul, they resonate towards this. But we have been so indoctrinated with religious untruths that it is, taking over everybody's life, and it is empowering war and hatred in the name of God. So something is wrong with that. Something is very wrong with that. You have to, be bold enough to go ahead and take the responsibility to answer the call and have these conversations. And I'm very grateful, that you are doing this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We aspire to be like you. Like I said, I got my goal list, so I feel like I'm on the right path here.
Absolutely.
You knocked everything out. I was like, oh my God, that's everything I wrote down. So I just feel like I'm in alignment.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we didn't get a chance to talk about heartstrings, and I want to really talk about that before we end our call, because I really think that's important, because there's a lot of mothers with sons who are in prison. And I want to know, what made you decide to do a documentary?
Well, because almost 9 years ago, my son was involved in a tragic gun accident. He was drugged by the state of Georgia, and forced to sign a confession to murder. And even though he lost the life of his fiancée, and even though the coroner said it was an accident, the DA said that we don't believe it. And within 4 days of the accident, my son was convicted, tried, and sentenced to life in prison.
Wow.
And what sort of moved me, because I realized how that experience literally took my breath, and I felt my heart breaking. And I knew then that, you know, this whole idea of the broken heart syndrome is very real, because I personally experienced it. And so I said, I want to put something out that's going to help save other women's lives, literally, because we've got, you know, over 1.5 million black men incarcerated in American prisons. So that means 1.5 million mothers are experiencing this the broken heart syndrome.
Wow. And how have you been able to heal mothers who are going through this?
Well, the Heartstrings Project is really all about searching for, finding these mothers and bringing them together so that we could find avenues and resources for our personal healing. And so we have conversations with what I call the Circles of Hope and Healing, and we have these conversation circles, and then we identify women that need counseling, and we have therapists that are on board to provide individual counseling. We do group work, and we do spa journeys. We travel from spa to spa, and I try to invite mothers to different spa experiences so that they can find new ways to release the trauma, to release the pain, to release the stress, and to get back to themselves so that they can live their lives, because it is impacting the entire family. So if we got 1.5 million black men in prison, just imagine, you know, how many more people. Let's add 20 more people to each one of those million, and then that shows you the impact of, mass incarceration is having on the lives of American people. So that's what we're doing, is trying to create as many healing opportunities for as many women as I possibly can.
Okay, absolutely. And you are doing that, Goddess Ivy. Before we go, I wanted to pull a goddess card for you to see what goddess is with you, if you didn't mind.
Ooh. Yes, please do.
All right. And the goddess I picked for you is the goddess Athena, and she represents inner wisdom. So she's a powerful and wise goddess that oversees and protects those who call on her. And so we definitely feel like we receive wisdom and protection from you, because all of the information you gave us was very useful in our past to protect ourselves and to learn more about our inner self. And we just feel honored. We're definitely going to get your CD. We're definitely going to get to even more work. We've been doing some spiritual work, but we're definitely going to get to some serious work with the quantum healing CD that you have. And we just think you were a joy and a pleasure to have on the show tonight. And we just learned so much. I had a little notebook just taking notes.
Well, thank you, and I would love to come back again. I want to be sure to share with you some of the upcoming retreats that I have in store, and really want you to participate in some of that.
We would absolutely love it.
Women's wellness retreats. They're actually weekend mind-body tune-up sessions.
Okay. And when is your next? Do you have one? Did you have one coming up soon? You want to advertise?
Well, we have one coming up soon, May the 2nd. It's a Saturday, and it's going to be at the Chesapeake Hotel and Spa And
Okay.
it's not very far from D.C. It's about 20 minutes outside of the Beltway. And you'll be seeing that coming up. I'll be doing it with Dr. Margaret Cullick, and we're focused on, making life easier by having these body and mind tune-up sessions and spa experiences for as many women as we possibly can. And we're going to be doing them monthly, actually. So,
oh, wow. That's beautiful. We definitely want to have you back on. We definitely want to have you back on.
I would love to. Cannot wait.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure tonight. We want to thank our listeners for calling in, and we encourage you to listen to us every Tuesday and Thursday night at 9. Is there anything you want to say, Holistic Gal and Sister Love?
I'm so grateful for the guests, and I'm actually right now on iTunes. I'm about to purchase some music.
All right.
Get my meditation to the next level and control my brain function. And I just wanted to mention that when Dr. Ivy was saying that the jasmine was really one of her favorites, and I had just lit my jasmine oil, started burning my jasmine oil, and I haven't burned jasmine oil in a long time, and so I just happened to want to do it tonight. So,
wow.
Wow. Jasmine, that's her favorite. I said, okay, great. So it's all we're in line and in tune.
Yes,
awesome.
Goddess Ivy is definitely in tune, because when I had some questions written down, she was just answering all of them before I got a chance to answer.
Right on.
Right on. So she is definitely doing her work, guys. I'm telling you.
This is beautiful.
Well, I'm very grateful. Very grateful.
Yes. I just wanted to say thank you for coming on, and this is one of my favorite shows. This is going to be at the top of my list because everything just flowed, and just your personality is just so vibrant, and you just have so much knowledge and wisdom, and I'm just sitting here listening like, oh, wow. It's like you tell a story with everything, and I love that. I love just listening and learning so much. Oh, my gosh. So I just want to say thank you again, and I went on CD Baby, and I already bought mine, so I'm going to be listening to my meditation as I drift off tonight.
All right. Give thanks and praise, and let me know how it goes, too. I love to hear back. And I do conscious creation life therapy or life coaching. So when people are ready to really begin to focus on manifesting their heart's deepest desires, that's what I pray that you will allow me to support you with.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And we'll be in touch. We got your Facebook. So we'll definitely be in touch back and forth. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, and thank you, listeners, for listening to us. Peace and blessings and love.
Love and light.
Bye. Good night.
Stay in the light of love.